Good afternoon, everyone. The two Marks are back in town. Little rundown of Thursday night and this weekend against West Ham. Hope everyone's well in the chat. And we'll get on and have a chat. How are you, Sheriff?
All is good, mate. The sun is shining down here, mate. What's it like where you are?
Well, it's a bit cloudy up here, mate. To be
How is
honest.
it, man?
Yeah,
It
it's
was
gone a bit chilly.
it was cloudier. It was overcast earlier, mate, but the sun's out now. It's beautiful out there. Nice and
Excellent
warm.
stuff.
Lovely.
What you been up to? You been up to much?
I had to walk into town earlier. Go and do the beer run for later. Mud in the pub.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's a normal Saturday thing, mate. You know what I do on Saturdays.
The old mud in the pub. Happy days.
Walk to Tesco's.
Big up Nigel at Pure Coys. Get over there and subscribe to him if you haven't.
Yeah. Walk to town, get some beer, get the bus home.
Happy days. Well, I've had an interesting morning, Mark. I went with the missus and some of the family, and we went over to watch our granddaughter play in a under-8 cup final this morning.
Man.
So there was like I think it was like under 8s up to maybe under 14s, something like that, or it might have been under 13, something like that. Anyway, and we went over there and watched their final. They won 3-2. I think it was 3-2. Yeah, 3-2. I think.
Excellent.
And there's a little picture of her here that Mark can bring up with her trophy.
Do you want me to bring it up, man?
Yeah, bring it up, man. Bring it up.
There you go, man.
This morning, in the boys' team, she was playing, and they won 3-2. So big up to them. Big up, Robin. Well done. And we're all proud of you. Well done, girl.
There you go, man.
There she is.
Congratulations to her.
Yeah. And they won it last year as well.
Did they?
Yeah, they won it last year, and then they've done whatever they do, changed divisions or whatever, and they've gone up and won it again.
Happy days, man. And you said she's like a defender.
Oh yeah. She was playing like a mainly in defender. You know what kids are like; they run about all over the place.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. She likes to get stuck in. She's all right. She's got a bit of ball control. She's all right. She's doing really, really well. Good luck to her.
Has she inherited that from Grandad, do you think?
Well, I don't. Who knows, mate? Who knows? But you know what I mean. You know what kids are like. Just enjoy it. They're only young. As long as they're learning along the way.
Of course, mate.
They'll be
of course,
all right.
mate. Congratulations to her.
Yeah, well done, Robin. Great stuff. There you go.
Brilliant, man.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah. Sort of let everyone know that she did well today. Yeah, I'll keep you all informed of her progress. Perhaps we can do that, maybe.
Well, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Any announcements, man? Just like, you know.
Yeah. She did really well. Really, really well. Anyway, moving on, Mark. Moving on.
Yes,
I suppose we better get stuck into Spurs a little bit, aren't we? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
4 minutes in, I'm not going to go too into detail because, a lot of the channels have done that. Big up, James. Big up, Richest, man.
Yeah. There's a couple of people commenting.
Yeah.
Richest man, afternoon, mate.
Yeah.
And Mr. Flower, big up, mate.
Big up, James.
Big up. Link will be in the chat in a bit. This is supposedly a call-in show.
Yeah. We'll stick the link in a minute, and then we can crack on with it, I suppose, can't we?
Well, yeah.
Why not?
Let's just copy that. Yeah. Well, here we go. Oh, no, there's a couple more.
You're sticking it in there, are you? Is that what you're
doing?
No.
Oh. Big up. Congrats to your granddaughter winning a trophy today.
Yeah, let's so Dan. Cheers, man.
Well, yeah.
Cheers. Brilliant stuff, yeah.
Lisa's here. Good afternoon, Lisa. Yes.
Thanks very much, Lisa. That's brilliant. Yeah. Cheers, love.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Yeah, we're over the moon with her, to be honest.
And David Clark, live from Leicester.
Oh, I was astonished by the connection between
So
club players and
that's
fans. Yeah.
4 foot of snow and a biting wind. It's not meant to be that cold next week, though, is it?
Apparently
Allegedly.
not. Apparently not.
It's
Five
going to be what?
degrees at night and 12
Yeah,
during the day or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if they've. I don't think they've had any snow recently. I'm not sure. All I've heard for the last couple of weeks is it's like sort of a bit chillier than here, but not
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
gloves weather and all that.
No, no, no. But to be honest, this is our summer, isn't it, mate?
Yeah,
It could all
yeah,
change next week, obviously.
yeah. Obviously, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what it's like in
Well,
this country.
mm,
But at the
yeah,
moment, it's stunning. It's been like 20 degrees plus
yeah. It's been nice,
days
hasn't
on
it?
end, man.
Yeah, it has been nice. Yeah, yeah. It's been really good.
Yeah, it has.
Can't complain about it at all. Mm. So, Mark, just changing subject again. How many cans did you get for later on? I need to know.
Before, mate.
Oh, only 4. I've got to
Only
eat.
4
All right.
because I still had 3 in the cupboard. And I knew that wasn't enough, so I thought I'd better go and replenish.
Could be a long night then.
Well, no. But
No.
you know how it is. But it depends. Depends what mood I'm in to how many cans I have later. It's a bit early at the moment, and if I started drinking now, there'd be like concerning messages
Yeah,
coming
yeah, yeah.
in. You
Well, I
know, but
should be back. I should be back for mud in the pub. I'm going out for a meal with the family tonight. That'll be
are you?
interesting, considering I don't eat no more.
No, I was gonna say, how the hell are you getting on, man? How the hell are you getting on?
I don't know, some restaurant for one of their birthdays. So
You
I
haven't
don't.
eaten nothing for you haven't barely eaten
So,
nothing for 3 months.
well, I might eat a little bit tonight. Who knows?
Well,
Who knows? We'll
yeah.
see. We'll see, mate.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Take my word, it's gonna be one
Um,
one
I've got
hell
to
of a.
say, David, I'm not. The plastic pitch thing really does bother me. It really bothers me.
Well, yeah.
But they're professional footballers and they should be
Well, they
able to
should be able to
deal with
cope
it.
with it, surely. I
Mm.
mean, just wear the right footwear, innit? You know? I mean, I don't know, but like, I mean, you get the special boots now, don't you, with the molded studs and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
AstroTurf boots, isn't it?
Do you think that I've been reading a few things today, and do you think because it's only an 8,700 stadium and there'll only be 400 Tottenham there for the return, because it's close and compact and not open and expansive like ours is with 60,000 fans in it, does it still make it what could be a hostile environment, Mark? What do you think?
I I can only judge on my local team, because that's a more or less the same size stadium. I think my
Yeah,
local team are now in the conference, well, whatever it's called these days, National
yeah,
League,
yeah.
and theirs holds about
Yeah, that's
9,000,
similar then. Similar. Yeah.
I think,
Mm.
and I've been to game. I ain't been for ages to watch them, but I was there in '94 when we played Arsenal out there,
Yeah.
and with everyone, like, it can become hostile. It can,
Because it's
you
like
get a
that.
bit of noise going.
I was going to say, those smaller grounds, they can get some noise going in them, can't they?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
From obviously it was 1994, man, but like I I can remember it was noisy. It was
Mm.
noisy,
Mm.
because it was such a big team.
Yeah.
I mean, what league would they have been in then? They'd have been in the same league they are now, I would have thought. Like the
Yeah.
conference, whatever it was called back then.
Yeah.
And and yeah, it was noisy. And because they were playing against Premier League teams, the crowd and that, they're all over them.
Mm.
They're all over them, just trying to put them off and unsettle them,
Mm.
and it's So well, it's not going to be easy, is it?
Mm. Well, and that's the other thing as well. Just moving on very briefly about that. Bodo's record in Europe over the past, I don't know what it is, maybe 4 or 5 seasons. I think they've only not won 4 times.
Yeah, out of 34.
Out of 34.
Yeah.
And they've played some decent Champions League sides in that time as well.
Yeah.
Listen, I predicted 3-1, that from the short video the day before.
Yeah.
But it was a 3-1 that after watching the game, in a way, not in a way, we should have won by a lot more.
Yeah.
They had possession, the most possession in the game, 58%, whatever it was, but we did all the attacking.
Yeah.
As such. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the
game.
And after watching the game now, and knowing what Bodo can do at home, or what they've shown what they can do at home, knowing what Spurs are like, it makes me a bit squeaky. Whereas I thought 2 goals would be enough for the tie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting, and David's right with his bottom comment. We never pushed on in the second half.
Yeah. Well, let's just catch up with the chat, mate, and I'll then I'll have my little say.
Yeah.
And then we might throw the link in.
Yeah, why not indeed? Yeah.
Afternoon audio. Big up, mate.
Big up audio. Nice to see you,
Afternoon
mate.
to my neighbour.
Hey, all right.
Big
mate.
up.
Big up to you, mate.
2 brilliant goals by Everton and Ipswich.
Oh, I haven't seen any.
Don't know any scores.
No,
I suppose I can have a look at my phone in a minute. Oh,
yeah.
Peter's here. I believe he might be at work.
Big up, Pete.
Yeah, paramedic in Australia. Good morning. That sounds weird, doesn't it? Like, 4:15 in the afternoon saying good morning to somebody.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work, mate. Players. Yeah, that's true.
It was all over him, David, wasn't they? It was all over him.
Should have scored 7. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Let's hope we don't score 7 next Thursday.
Well,
here we go. I've been corrected. I thought it was 1994. It was January 93. Okay.
You weren't far out, though, mate, was you? You weren't far out.
Well, no. I was there as well.
Yeah.
I was definitely there.
Yeah.
Because Yeovil had one of their key players out. I think he was a defender. Bloody Ian Wright scored a hat-trick. And they won 3-0.
There you go. Sorted. That was that then. Done.
Yeah, that was the end of that.
Well, smashing it at home.
Yeah.
I've got to agree with you, Daniel, because I think that Bodo would have a lot of the ball.
Yeah.
When we go there. So, in a way, it might be set up for us to nick a goal. And I think we're going to have to nick a goal, because they will be coming at us. So, perhaps that's going to suit us, them coming onto us, and with a bit of luck, us hitting them on the counter, and we get through that way.
Yeah. And my neighbour again went to the league match before versus Bath City. From what I can remember, you had to go to the 2 previous home games to get vouchers. So I'm pretty sure I got 2 vouchers, and then I got my ticket for the Arsenal game.
Right.
Because they always used to do that.
Yeah.
The sort of non-league conference-y teams, if they drew someone big in the FA Cup, they were sneaky, really. To get a ticket for the FA Cup game, you had to go to the 2 previous games to get a voucher. It's like a raffle ticket. That's all you got.
Yeah.
And then you had to keep these 2 raffle tickets. And so that increased the crowd because the 2 previous league games to the FA Cup game was always sold out. That was always packed out.
Yeah.
And so instead of getting 1,000, 2,000 there, suddenly they got like 8,000-9,000 there, like capacity in the stadium.
Oh yeah.
And I don't blame them because it like increased their revenue, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Because all the non-league teams are they're more struggling these days, but even back then they were struggling.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll have my say, and then we will get to the bottom of the comments. I promise.
Yeah. Go on then.
As you know, Thursday I went to work, man, and so I thought that'd be all right. Once we get set up, I can sit in the van and watch it. I was in an area, absolutely zero phone signal. Absolutely zero. I couldn't even get the score to load up. Well, as you know, I briefly spoke to you at halftime, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah, it was
Briefly
very brief.
until my phone signal went on again.
That's it. Yeah.
And you told me it's 2-0.
Yeah.
It's 2-0, but it should have been more.
Yeah.
Right, that's what you told me. And
Yeah.
I was having a chat, and all of a sudden it went quiet, and it said no service. I was like, oh, well, that's the end of that then. So, to be honest, I didn't actually watch the game. I did not know the score till about 1 o'clock in the morning, till we were on our way back and I could get some signal.
Yeah.
So it was a bit disappointing. So if you want to know anything about the game,
yeah, well, don't say ask me, because my stream was shocking as well, mate.
No, there we go.
It was a nightmare, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he was.
Watched a bit of highlights. That's it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. At the time, Arsenal were a one-trick pony with Ian Wright. Yes, I remember that. He scored a hat-trick that day. I know they won 3-0.
Yeah.
Oh, right, let's try and get to the bottom of these. Johnny, afternoon, mate.
All right, Johnny.
No rest for the
Peter's
wicked.
at work. Peter's at work by the sound of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously a paramedic, so fantastic job. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, keep at it, Pete.
Yeah. I would say big up the NHS, but, you know, he's in Australia, so I won't bother.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, they did. Arsenal went on to win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
But put it this way, Yeovil have played Arsenal twice in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And the previous time before that was 1971. And they went on to win the cup that year as well. So every time they played my local team in the FA Cup, they've gone on to win the damn thing. Let's hope they don't draw them next season. Well, to be honest, my local team won't get to the third round first.
Yeah, they have to go through the qualifiers, I suppose, Mark, don't they?
I'm not sure.
Or some qualifying round or something to get into the first round proper or something.
I don't pay a lot of attention to it, man, but I believe Yeovil may go in fourth qualifying round or first round proper.
Right.
Something around there, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like the first qualifying round or none of that. I think they might go in third or fourth qualifying round, but sometimes they've gone in first round proper.
Yeah.
Well, they spent one season in the championship, mate. So I think they didn't go into it. So
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they only spent 1 year in the championship.
Only one, but you know.
Yeah.
Only one.
It was Yeovil one. No, it wasn't. Unless I was that drunk, I didn't remember a scoring. I thought it was 3-0.
You must have forgot, because
I don't know.
He's even put the scorer in the last few minutes.
Oh. I must have been that. Well, because I'd have been 22. So it was possibly I was drunk.
Possibly.
Again. Yeah. I could have sworn. Do you know? I would have put my life on it was 3-0. I could have sworn. Right, I stand corrected. It was 3-1.
Listen, the chat knows better.
Well, of course they do. Of course they do. Well, I'm old and senile anyway.
We are the elder statesmen of the Spurs
YouTube
community, as a certain channel keeps reminding everyone.
Of course.
Football Heritage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe to Football Heritage as well. Yeah.
Yeah. The second channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one would be surprised.
Oh, Bella's in the house. I believe that's
Oh,
Bella.
big up, Bella. Hope
Yeah.
you're well. Hope you're well, Bella.
Oh, and we I just not Barry. So his name was Batty, like David.
Yeah.
Can't remember his first name, but he scored the penalty for us. See, I can't remember that honestly, unless I'd left by then.
Yeah, he's put at the bottom there. It was Paul Batty. Someone called.
Oh,
Paul
all right.
Batty. Yeah.
I stand corrected. If you want to come on and take my place, that's all well and good. Because obviously I know nothing.
It don't matter, Mark. As long as you're close. You was close. It's a long time ago to remember. Do you know what
I could
I
have
mean?
swore it was 3-0, man. I could have swore it was 3-0. Now, here we go. Yeah, I was right with this bit. 1971.
You got a bit right.
Because I believe they do. Oh, he's put it in the next comment. And I did not read that, I promise. Because they've done the double, and here we go.
We believe you, Sheriff. We believe you, mate.
No, I knew they'd done the double in 71. I'm not saying, like, What's this? What a jinx Yeovil have been for us Tottenham fans when they played. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Although, because Yeovil had, like, they went through this thing, we'd get to the third round most seasons. Or, there weren't many that we missed out on not getting to the third round. Every year when the third round draw, I was thinking, Yeovil versus Tottenham, please. Even away, because I'd go and get half and half scarf,
Yeah.
I know they're a bit sad, but I would get one if we played like Tottenham at any stage. But it's never come up. I've seen.
That's one of them.
Not that I was there, but obviously, I say in the last few seasons, it could be in the last 20 years. I don't know. I believe they played Liverpool out there. They definitely played Man United out there.
Yeah.
But I never went to either of them. I didn't go to either of them. But back in 1993, I used to watch Yeovil quite a lot. But it's a choice between which one lets you down the most, Tottenham or Yeovil. So it's heartbreaking, really.
Not only do you pick one team that's like it, you pick another one as well.
Well, yeah.
From your area.
Well, yeah, God. Well, to be honest, I got no choice but to sort of follow Yeovil. It's my local team.
You haven't. Yeah.
I'm not really. I would not hold my hands up and say I'm a diehard Yeovil fan because I'm not.
But they're your local team, so you just follow them, don't you?
Well, yeah. I just look at their results.
Yeah.
I haven't been out there for. I can't remember the last game I went to.
I was going to say, Joe, I was going to say to you. When was the last time you went down to Yeovil to watch a game?
Bloody hell, man! I believe it would have been. Now, Mr. Everton will help me again here, right? It was when they won the conference, as it was called then, and they were first getting into League Two. So if you're still watching, mate, what year was that? They beat. It was right towards the end of the season, and the away fans come round with a flag in front of the home fans saying, "Good luck, Yeovil, in the league next year."
Oh.
Because we were knocking on the door for a couple of years
to
get into the league.
You finally done it.
But we never quite made it. And then one year we just, we're not monetised anyway, but one year we absolutely pissed the conference.
Yeah.
And we went up easily. And it was something like Telford or something at home.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was probably nowhere near, but the away fans come round with a flag at halftime saying, "Good luck, Yeovil, in the league next year."
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. And that's the last time I went.
Yeah. Well, I used to 2002, 2003.
Oh, but there we go. All right, I'll rush through the chat and we'll get to that.
You want it?
All right. Yeah. I thought it was 3-0, so we'll just leave that there. Oh, here we go. True fair. Well, that's the last time I went then. So what's that, 22 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the last time I went out there.
That's a while ago, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, obviously.
It is a while ago.
Yeah, hang on. Didn't Ryan Mason and Andros take? Yes, they did. Because we're meant to be talking about Tottenham, man, but this has turned into the Yeovil Town show.
It's all right. I'll get on to Tottenham in a bit.
Yeah. For a while, Harry Redknapp is still spotted regularly out there because he only lives in Poole, mate, which is down the road.
Yeah.
And when he was at Tottenham, well, Tottenham has still got links to Tottenham. Yeovil have still got links to Tottenham, and we used to take a lot of the youngsters.
Yeah.
Ryan Mason was definitely there, and Andros Townsend was definitely there. But I googled it once, and there's a whole load of the youngsters that have been here, like on loan and that.
So Yeovil's a regular place that we send. I don't look that deep into it, to be honest, Mark. That's why I'm asking.
Well, it was.
Has it always been that way, Mark?
I believe it started. Well, put it this way: Mr. Edwardson's going to correct me if I say a load of rubbish, but I believe it started around the time Harry was manager and that.
Okay.
I believe, but that might be. Take anything I say with a pinch of salt. That might be the biggest load of rubbish ever, but that's when I believe it started. Yeah. But we've definitely had a lot of Spurs youngsters, definitely, because I was out there one day and Yeovil played an under-21s. All the youngsters come down from Tottenham and played them. It was an evening game. It might have been pre-season.
Yeah.
But I was definitely there for that. Actually, I went there on a Tottenham shirt just to show what my loyalties lie.
Yeah, of course. Any more in the chat, Mark? You want to say hello to? Or?
Yeah, Tom81.
Big up, Tom.
Afternoon, mate.
Nice to see you, mate.
Matty K.
Big up, Matty.
Big up, Matty. The link will be in the chat very shortly.
Yeah, if anyone wants to pop on and have a chat about Spurs.
Here we go. This is more about Yeovil.
Yeah.
I recall watching an FA Vaz match, which I watched, and Yeovil won that as well.
All right, okay.
As Jimmy Quinn was.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I see. Now, here we go. Tom81's got another. See, I did. Kane and Dyer win. Yes, they did, allegedly, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Now, this man, I can remember him at Yeovil, definitely.
He was a striker, wasn't he?
God knows, but I can remember him being there.
I'm sure he was a striker.
Right.
Got to remember.
I'll tell you what, mate. Now we're at the bottom of the chat. Mate. I will chuck the link in. See if anyone wants to come in. See if anyone wants to come on and talk about Yeovil. No.
There you go, everyone. The link's in the chat. If anyone wants to pop on, click the link and come and have your say.
Yeah.
Have a chat with us.
To be honest, I never watched a single minute of it because I had no signal. And you were struggling as well, weren't you, mate?
Yeah, I was struggling big style. It didn't matter. I don't know what was going on round here with
here we go.
With the internet the other night, but yeah,
Beaker was
it was a striker. Yeah, I'm sure he was.
Because going back to Yeovil again, I know we're not really here to talk about Yeovil, but Harry Redknapp is spotted regularly out there.
Right, okay.
He would just go and sit in the stands.
Yeah,
just like I said, where he lives in Poole, that's only down the road from me.
Yeah,
probably 30 mile, 40 mile from me. And he lives in Sandbanks.
Yeah.
So, and he's spotted regularly out there. Anyway, should we attempt to talk about Tottenham?
Well, we can do a little bit. Yeah, we can, you know. Well, let's get into it. Look, we won the game. I think most people predicted a Spurs win.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, I said 3-1. I think you said 4-1, Mark.
I did a short that morning as well, and I said 4-1.
4-1. So, there you go. I think, like we said earlier, before the game, we all give those scores. And, I think most people would have been happy with a 2-goal lead before the game.
Yeah.
But as I said earlier, from the highlights I've seen, looking through a few of the stats, I don't go too deep into it, just a bit of possession and check the attacking stats, defensive stats, and so on. I think watching the game, even though they didn't do a lot with the ball, when they had it, they looked very comfortable. Now, don't get me wrong, there was no end product apart from the goal that they scored. I think they threatened one other time, maybe twice, but not to the extent where you think, oh, we're in trouble here or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then we came out second half. Maddison went off injured.
Did he?
Yeah, he went off. He got a knock, I think, to his knee.
Was that precaution, or was he really
No, I think he waved straight away to say, have me off. And the momentum just seemed to die out of the game. Do you know what I mean? When you would have thought maybe that, when we said about Frankfurt, when we was at home, like, have a go.
Yeah.
We're winning. If you're going to have a go, have a go. This is the game to do it in. Excuse me. And it wasn't like that. And for me, looking back on the game now, I would have liked us to have scored a couple of more goals, or at least one, and I would have felt a lot more comfortable. But we'll see in the return that we don't know how he's going to play, whether he will be a bit more pragmatic like he was at Frankfurt last time,
He seems to be in Europe, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously watched the Frankfurt game away, and I couldn't believe the way we were playing.
Mm.
So, and as you know, I never saw any of it. But, I've seen the highlights, and I've seen shows where they talk about the game. And would you say we were pragmatic Thursday night? They want this gung-ho 8 attack, 2 on the halfway line.
I think that the best way I can describe it was, I don't know if pragmatic's the right word, but what I saw a lot of was that when we didn't have the ball, we had a bit of shape about us. Do you know what I mean? The two fullbacks did push on when we had the ball, but it was almost like, as soon as the ball got turned over, it was boom, back into
straight back.
Some sort of shape. Do you know? And not necessarily it was spot on all the time, but there weren't gaping holes everywhere as such.
And is it true that, I might be talking nonsense again, so shut me up if I am. Was it Basuma started, or did he come on?
Yeah,
Basuma and Bentancur.
Yeah.
And they both sort of they didn't go too far forward.
Well, it was almost like I suppose it was almost like a double pivot, if you like, if you want to call it that, with these buzzword expressions, whatever. Two in front, but I would say that you saw a bit more of, not to how he was at Brighton, but I think he had more license that when he did get the ball, whereas he's been playing that deeper position, sometimes in the so-called 6 position, now and again, Ange don't play as the defensive midfield player. And he's facing the goalkeeper all the time, Mark. He's picking the ball up from the goalkeeper on the edge of the box, little pass, whatever. But he was having to be sort of more defensively rigid when he was in that position. But playing that position with Bentancur on Thursday night, I think he had more license to sort of push forward with the ball more. I thought he played very well on Thursday, Bentancur. But again, I think a lot of that's due to, maybe having a bit more structure about the team. Do you know what I mean? It was.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It wasn't perfect, Mark. I'm not saying that, but he looked a lot better. That's all I can say. He looked a lot better.
Well, to be honest, as far as Basuma goes, that's when his mistakes come in, isn't it? When he's facing his own goal and he's in that number, he's sort of a bit rash sometimes, gives away clumsy free kicks, penalties.
Yeah.
You want him facing the other way. That's
Yeah.
only my opinion.
Yeah.
But you want him to pick the ball up sort of midfield and drive with it,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
because he's not a 6, is he? He's an 8.
No.
And when he has been in that sort of 6 role, sometimes the way we play don't help him, in my opinion, because the ball's pinging about like crazy. It's like a pinball machine.
Yeah.
And he's sort of clumsy, isn't he? He'll stick a leg out and give a stupid free kick away.
Yeah.
He'll do something clumsy.
You hit the nail on the head, Mark. He's not a defensive midfield player.
No.
He wants to carry the ball, from if he picks it up sort of in between the halfway line and his own 18-yard box. He wants to drive the ball over the halfway line.
Yeah.
Then he'll give it to the more technical player. Do you know what I mean? Or
Madison.
He'll find a pass or whatever. That's what you want Basuma to be doing. He's not that player that wants to be facing his goalkeeper, picking up 10-yard passes from Vicario on the edge of his box, and he's either got to go that way with it or that way with it first time. Do you know what I mean? It's not him. He needs to be receiving that ball out from a defender or from his defensive midfield partner or pivot, whatever you want to call it.
On the half turn.
That's it. Not
on the half turn.
Not even on the half turn, Mark. He could make a run between the lines. Do you know what I mean? Pick up a 10-yard pass off the defender and boom, and he's away. It's only about a bit of movement at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
No, I didn't know that either. Because I'll be honest with you, sometimes we're very stuck. Because I'm not sure about you, mate, but I only watch Premier League football. Do you ever watch or different nations play or different?
I do watch some other bits and pieces. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't sort of put a marker on my phone at 8 o'clock. The Bundesliga's on or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But when I'm flicking through or doing a bit of YouTube work, have a bit of something on the telly. Now and again, might flick through if there's been any particular game that I'd want to follow or whatever. I watch a bit of Spanish, but a bit of the German league. You know what I mean? Sometimes even I watch a bit of the Portuguese league now and again as well.
Oh, do you?
I just like to fight. There's players about, and Mark, to be honest with you, I watch Championship football now and again, not to follow a team.
Yeah.
But I just like to see if there are, listen, everyone bangs on about Gyökeres now, right? When he was at Coventry, he was doing what he's doing now. But it was only because it was a lower level, no one took any notice.
Yeah.
He was available for whatever it was, 15, 20, 25 million quid from Coventry. Everyone can
Let's not talk about the Championship, mate. Let's not talk about the Championship. As you know, as you know, another of my local teams, my grandson's, forced upon. I forced it upon him, but I got him a Plymouth kit and they got relegated today.
Oh, dear. Dear.
Well, they were always going down anyway, but when the new manager turned up at Plymouth, mate, they went on a bit of a run.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that a great escape was on for him. Not that I follow Plymouth, because I don't, but just for the fact that I bought my grandson a Plymouth kit, it would have been nice if they'd escaped a drop, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Personally, Wayne Rooney ruined it for them because he was there at the start of the season and they were that terrible that they were virtually rock. Well, they were rock bottom of the Championship. They were rock bottom of the Championship. I've just seen the next comment. They were rock bottom of the Championship for ages, man. But the new manager come in. Right, and he'd been there a few weeks. They beat Liverpool. All right, and under strength. Liverpool, but he turned them right around, and they were on fire, Plymouth, for a while.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that they were going to get out of it, but they didn't. So,
No, he didn't.
but then
No.
again, if they stick with this new manager they got, that hopefully they'll win League One next year and come back up.
Yeah, definitely.
But Wayne Rooney took them down. No blame can go to the new manager they got.
Well, it's like you say. If there's no blame attached to him, then hopefully they'll keep hold of him and have a pop at coming back up next season.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, Plymouth's woes were caused by Rooney being the manager. I'm not sure how long he lasted there, but he was there long enough that they were like rooted to the bottom of and they were cut adrift as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even believe they finished bottom of the championship. Just have a quick check here, mate. Just to make sure I get my facts right.
I have. I know that. I know they've been down the bottom for.
Yeah. No, they were second from bottom.
They're second from bottom. Yeah.
They were second.
Yeah.
Cardiff from bottom. Then Plymouth, Luton, and Hull. They were the ones that got relegated. But Plymouth were in. All right, it turns out 4 points of safety, but at kickoff, they were only 3 points from safety, Plymouth.
Yeah.
So the escape was all right. They had to win there, and they played Leeds today as well.
Oh yeah. Was that end up 1-0 or 2-1 or something? Was it
2-1? I think it ended
2-1.
up.
Yeah.
But because of Plymouth's woeful goal difference, I think they had to beat Leeds like 15-0 or something. And that was never happening.
Leeds and Burnley come up, when it Mark? Leeds and Burnley, I think, came up. Leeds were champions. Burnley second.
Yeah.
And then you got the playoffs, didn't you? Now the 4 in the playoffs.
I'm not sure who plays who, but Sheffield United were third, Sunderland fourth, Coventry fifth, and Bristol City fifth.
Well, I think third play sixth and fourth play fifth. I think. So
Sheffield United have got Bristol City.
Yeah. I believe so. I haven't seen that in writing, but I think from previous years gone past, that's how it works, Mark.
And Sunderland got Coventry.
Yeah.
Sheffield United. Well, from what you just said, then, in third place 6.
Yeah.
I bet the first game will be at Ashton Gate.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it will.
The first game will be at Ashton Gate, and the second game will be in Sheffield.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, big up, Tom. See you later, mate. I don't know if he's going to work.
Tom. Take care, mate.
He might be going to work.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Big up, Tom.
Yeah. All right then, Mark. So no one seems to want to come on the phone and talk, so we'll have a little chat about it. What?
Yeah.
Is 2 goals enough, Mark?
I'd like to think so.
As you're looking at it now, do you think that we can go to Bodo and either, I don't know, can we nick a goal out there? Or is it all dependent on how they play? Or, as Ange normally says, we're just going to play our game? What are your feelings on how it's going to be, knowing that even though that Bodo didn't do a lot with the ball, with the possession that they had, they was very comfortable. Plus, on top of that, I believe that at least 3 of those players that were missing are back on Thursday.
Yeah.
Including midfielder Berg, who pulls all the strings for them.
He's meant to be them. He's the main man, is that right?
Apparently so, yeah. Yeah, apparently he is. So, give us your feelings. We win 3-1. I know you didn't see the game. You've watched a bit of highlights, but...
I watched the 4-minute highlights that the club...
Are still a threat, Mark, in your eyes? Do we get through, but there's still a threat? Or are you thinking in your head, we could be in trouble here? Well, what's your thinking yourself?
To be honest, the worst thing we can do, in my opinion, is turn up to Norway and think the game's won.
Yeah,
to think that, turn up in Norway and you've already got thoughts of going to Bilbao.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you can do. And secondly, if we go there, we got to be solid. Solid. If we got to sit in, defend for your lives.
Yeah.
right? Because if they get an early goal, all right, it's only an 8,000, but they're going. Well, to be honest, the crowd's going to be up for it anyway.
I would have thought
Semi-final
so.
of it's a semi-final of the Europa League. It doesn't matter if you've got 1,000 or 100,000 in your stadium. The crowd's going to be up for it, no matter how many's in there.
Yeah.
So they're going to make it as hostile as they can. Right now, I'd like us to go there and be solid. That's the first thing I'd say. Look, just be solid. No stupid mistakes. Make sure your passing is spot on. You know, if it's a risky pass, don't do it.
Yeah.
Kick it out for a throw-in, or
Yeah.
just get rid of it at the pitch somewhere. You know, none of this sort of 50% ball. You know, where it might. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'll get with you. We need look, when we've got the ball, we need to be solid.
Yeah.
When we've got the ball, don't give it away cheaply.
Yes. If in doubt, kick it out.
You know
As the
what I
saying
mean?
goes.
Like,
You know what I mean?
Let's not be giving these. Let's not letting them break us down on the edge of our
Yeah.
box, like we was talking about. You know, silly passes out at the back, Vic pissing about with it at the back.
Yeah.
You know, expecting players like you said on the half turn to get us out of trouble. We ain't got those type of players.
No. Do not.
So I'd rather see, to be honest with you, for 90 minutes, as much as it's, you know, I watch football to see football be played, if that makes sense. But in this scenario, I don't want to see Vic pissing about with it.
No, Jesus.
You know what I mean? You got a 6'4" target man up the front. If that's who you've got to hit him and make him do his job.
Or try and hit him. You know
what I mean? It's like, you know.
This way, right? If we start pissing sorry, excuse me. If we start pissing about with it at the back and they nick it once, that is gonna give them all the confidence that they need. If we start pissing about with it at the back, and whoever gets it, the centre back, the left back, the right back, if there's no ball on, you know, 100% passable ball, just kick the bloody thing up the other end of the pitch and try and hit Solanke. Yeah. We have a guest.
Oh, Nige is here.
Nige is here, man. We was going to send you a message, man. Big up, Nige. Right, let's just
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Right, Philly's here.
Oh, big up, Phil. Nice to see
you,
mate, in the chat.
The link's in the chat, mate, if you want to pop on.
Yeah, anyone's welcome. The link's in the chat if you want to pop on for a bit and have a chat. We're not the most serious channel here as such. You can have your say. Come on, and you know, if anyone wants to, you're more than welcome. As long as you've got your camera on. Apart from Dan, we let Dan on without his camera on, only because we know him now. But yeah, preferably with your camera on, and please be clothed. That's it, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we can't have none of that. Right, the link's in the chat. Here we go. And Rich is just, it's a bit early, mate.
That's later, Rich. That's later.
Never too early.
Oh, hang on. Is that?
Oh, it's TJ.
It's TJ. I thought that was TJ. Yeah, you're more than welcome, man. Just come on. Man. The link's the comment above you.
Yeah, come on
in, man.
TJ, by all means.
Right then, Nige. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I have been watching since the start. It's been on, and I've been doing housework. And so I thought, should I pop? I'll wait till I've done all my housework, and then I'll pop on, say hello.
Why not, Nige? Why not? Yeah, I don't think you're the only one been doing a bit of housework today, Nige. Only a little bit, mind you. Only a little bit. You know, the old shoulder's still playing up. You know what I mean?
Are you playing on that now?
Yeah, of course I am.
I know you're not, man. I know you're not. I knew I'd get you to laugh at some stage.
Oh, dear. What do you lot like, eh? Nige, what do you think? Is, you know, before we
get into this, mate, I'm sorry to cut you off. Before we get into this, right now, if Lisa asked you to do the hoovering or something, do you say it on my shoulder or not?
No, because the hoovering's my job.
I was just, you know,
that's one of my main jobs, the hoovering. I do the hoovering. If I really can't do it, I will speak to one of Lisa's lads. If I'm having a really pain day,
yeah,
one of the lads, if they pop round, they'll do it for me.
I was just checking, mate.
David does it when he comes round. Yeah.
I just had to ask, mate, because you said you've been doing housework and that, and so
I do a little bit now and again. I mean, Lisa's probably sitting there going like that now in the front room. You know what I mean?
So if I hear a door open by the side of you and a hand comes in and slaps your own ear off,
yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Go on,
is this turned into no mud in the pub all of a sudden?
No, this is not mud in the pub. That's later.
No.
That's later, Mark. It's the wrong show.
Yeah.
But here she comes now. There's someone coming in the door. Oh no, they're not. I thought there was. I thought the hand was coming in there, Mark. It sounded like the door was going. Dear, oh dear.
Anyway, back to football. Back to football.
Nige, what do you reckon? Before the game, we was all sitting here, weren't we, pretty much saying if we could have a 2-goal lead, we'd be happy with that. You know, now you watch the game. Now you've seen what's happened. To you, is on what you've seen, not what's in your head. Is it enough? Yeah. Is that 2 goals enough?
It's a stupid question, really, because it's never enough being Spurs, is it? You know, but you would hope so. They didn't, they didn't look all that. I know they're a different side at home, but as I've been saying before, they did lose to Karabag at home. You know, they have won some games, but they have lost a few shockers as well. So it's going to be tough. And we are Spurs. You know, we never make it easy for ourselves. But I'm really confident, even with that late goal, that we win the tie and get into the final. I'm more gutted that United 3-0 up, to be honest. So I really want an Atletico in the final.
Yeah, I know you did. I know. It's one of them. If you go there and play Atletico, they're at home as such on their pitch, and if you can turn them over there and win the final, then you've done it properly, sort of thing, haven't you? I know what you mean, Nige, with the thing. TJ, how are you, mate? I'm
all right, mate. How you guys been? I hope you guys are well. Sorry, I don't have my camera on. I'm actually naked. It's too hot.
We trust you.
That's all I can't get out of my head, mate.
It's too hot. On a serious note, I don't do good with hot weather. I prefer it cold, but that's because I'm a big lad. I don't sweat as when it's cold. People say it's cold. I'm like, nah, it's warm. It's all right.
Yeah.
Now you're here, TJ. I got a bonus for you.
Go for it, mate.
Last Thursday, was it the Thursday before? I was in London when we met at Ben's coffee shop. I phoned you when I was on my way to the Coach and Horses for a beer to invite you for a pint.
No way. Last Thursday. What was I doing last Thursday?
Was it last? No, was it
Thursday
no, it was Thursday before.
Yeah,
not the one just gone. The Thursday before.
Yeah.
Is this just a protest? No, it wasn't.
No. We had a meet up. We had a meet up.
Oh, I'm so sorry, lad. To be honest
I didn't know whether you were at work, man. But
what time is it?
It would have. I would get the factual evidence. Where are we? I'll get me facts right.
Go for it, mate.
20.
Sure, it was 2 Thursdays ago.
Yeah, 24th of April.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. You know what? Listen, I'm terrible when it comes down to these type of things,
8 o'clock.
Especially when I'm at work, it's like it's stressful because we've I can't where I work. I keep saying that in it, but I can't say where I work in it. However, we've got 2 new staff that are handling something important to do with what I do, because if I say it, people are going to guess where I work in it. And it's just been stressful. It's been a stressful 2-3 weeks. Plus,
Yeah.
protest day. I don't know if you heard, my mum had a heart attack.
Oh shit, man.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That,
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was MIA for about a week and a half, you know,
Yeah.
just dealing with that. But I'm sorry, lad. Next time,
No, man.
Don't apologise, man.
Man, all it was, I got off the train at Northumberland Park, walked down the road in front of the South Stand, on the right, and went to the Coach and Horses. And as I was walking down Northumberland Avenue, whatever it is, I thought, TJ lives near here. I thought, let's phone him up and buy him a pint.
So I'll tell you where I live exactly.
Well, I know where you live. It's behind like Chick King.
Basically behind Chickling. You know the one of the bigger flats.
Yeah.
There's altogether 4 flats. I'm on the right side.
Yeah.
What did I say to you, Nige, as we walked past them when we went to the protest? Well, we both said it to each other, didn't we?
TJ lives in one of them.
Yeah, I bet
Yeah,
TJ
yeah.
lives in one of these.
Yeah, I'm on the right side. That's exactly where I'm located.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I spent the evening in the Coach and Horses.
Oh, brilliant.
It was very brilliant. Amstel was only £4 a pint.
You know what? To be fair, to be totally honest, since the renovation of the Tottenham Stadium, this is an interesting fact. All the shops around Tottenham have just gone up in price.
Yeah.
Every little thing. I went to the shop the other day. This is going back maybe, I don't know, 2 years now. I went to buy like one of them chocolate bars, the bigger ones, you know. So you get like the small version and then you get the bigger size version.
Yeah.
The shopkeeper said £2.50 to me.
Yeah.
I genuinely wanted to slap him.
Everything's gone up, TJ. Mad. Everywhere.
Well, to be honest, man, at
just...
least the price of beer in the Coach and Horses ain't gone up. I was well impressed when I walked in there. I said, pint of Amstel, please. And they said, £4. I was like, what? It's dearer than that where I live.
Yeah. You went to a lucky location.
£5. I met Mr. Athelstone, if he's still in the chat. And we went up the Green King pub, and it was £5.15 in there for an Amstel.
Yeah.
You know, so £4 a pint, mate. I was loving it.
Pretty cheap, you know, when you get your bargains, it's a nice little feeling.
Oh, it is, man. Because I was expecting at least like £7 or £8 a pint in London. I thought I ain't getting much share. If I have 5 pints, I ain't getting much change out of £40 here. You know what I mean?
But there you go, you did.
Well, yeah. To be honest, I'll be honest. When I left there, I wobbled back to White Hart Lane train station to go back to Liverpool Street to get on the tube where I was staying.
There you go. As long as you had a good day, mate. That's the main thing.
Oh, it was very good because
yeah.
Where did I take? I can't remember where I bloody stayed, mate. Leytonstone, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
Leytonstone. I stayed. When I got off the train at Leytonstone or the tube, I wandered back. Well, I just put it on Google Maps to where I was staying, and literally 200 yards from where I was staying, and it was still open, was a KFC.
Oh, brilliant.
So I thought, that'd do. I would have gone in Chick King, man, but I couldn't walk straight. So I thought I better not. I might get arrested off that, you know.
As usual.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
Right. So TJ, now we've welcomed you in. I'll ask you the same question. I'll get back on the football. Is 3-1 enough, TJ? Knowing most people wanted, if we'd have had a 2-goal win, that they'd have been happy with that going to Norway. On what you've seen in the game, is 3-1? Are you happy with that to take, or you know, should it have been more, knowing that the second half dropped off quite a lot?
simply 3-1. See, look, you don't want to be too hard on the players because we've had a very difficult season.
Mhm.
But you have to weigh up the odds as well, especially when we're traveling to North Pole and the conditions are terrible. And the reason why I call it North Pole, it's treacherous conditions. I've done my little research. At first I didn't know who Bodo Glimt was, and it's an amazing story how they have ended up where they are right now.
Yeah.
But one of the key parts is how the weather affects them.
Mhm.
It's like I use this this kind of like analogy on Haz's channel yesterday. It's like you taking a bunch of players from Earth and traveling to Mars. The players on Mars knows how the conditions are. They know how to like float. They know how to control themselves. If you just take a bunch of players in a new environment, clicking is going to be hard, right? So 3-1, good score, right? But we should be scoring more. We should we've definitely got a better squad on paper.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Bodo Glimt, and I'm not taking away their home form, but at home you would expect a bit more. You will 110%. You would expect to do a bit more.
Yeah.
Of course, we had the opportunities. We were just not clinical enough. So it is a bit scary, but we should win. We should be in the final, And if we don't get towards the final, there's only one person to blame. And I've been calling out this manager's name from last year. He's simply not good enough. But let's keep our heads straight, because I could go on the topic of Ange.
Yeah.
But when you start to speak about Ange, there's a certain fan group that calls you overly negative.
Yeah.
But again, 3-1 should be all right. I think we should be in the final. There shouldn't be no excuses. I generally believe it's in our hands.
Yeah, definitely. As long as they don't score early, in my opinion.
We are Tottenham Football Club.
Yeah.
We're meant to be a big football club.
Yeah.
If you can't beat Bodo Glimt, there's something going wrong.
Yeah. I'm just going to answer this. I'm just going to answer this from Smithy.
Yep.
Where was my KFC that day then, Sheriff? Mate, this was 11:30 at night, and you were with your hobnob mates at the O2. Or the, whatever it's called. You know that thing down by the river? That's the O2, isn't it? The Millennium.
Down the river.
Yeah, is it the O2 Arena where they have darts and all that?
Oh, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. He was hobnobbing it with his celebrity friends down there, because I met him at Ben's coffee shop.
Mm-mm.
And, this was 11:30 at night, mate. So you were hobnobbing it with your VIP ticket and special entrance and that.
And one last thing I want to say as well. Look, the standard, we all know the standard has dropped over the last 5 to 6 years. We're not where we're meant to be. Let's make that statement and keep that statement in our head. 19 losses is not good enough.
No.
For Tottenham standard. And I do get that this is a fairy tale story that Bodo Glimt is going through. But with Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, it should be an automatic win. I'm sorry.
It should be, but we never make it easier for ourselves, do we?
We don't.
It's never easy with Tottenham, is it? I mean, you've only got to look at they just come out here. I was going to look for it, but it's him. Tamworth.
Yeah.
We only beat them in extra time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, luckily that day was my grandson's birthday, and I was at his birthday party, so I didn't watch hardly any of it.
I got to tell you, even though, like I said earlier, as such they didn't cause many problems. What bothers me is that not so much us going there, but they're going to get a lift from 3 of their players, first team players being back. I've seen interviews with other channels with Bodo fans that are quite happy that it finished as it did, and they're happy to take us back to our place and give us a game. That seems to be the general consensus from their fans. 3-1 was all right. You know, so I don't know. I'm a bit on the fence with this one. I'm not normally. I thought 3-1 would be enough before the game. But there's just something about when they're in possession of the ball, when you watch them, even though they didn't create, they were so comfortable on the ball. Do you know what I mean? They didn't give the ball away, you know, a lot. And I thought they looked a quite decent team, and their record at home in European competition, it just bothers me a bit. You know, they've only lost 4, I believe, out of 30. They've played Champions League teams in that as well. Listen,
just say big up audio. Just say big up audio. He's got to go.
Audio. Take care, mate.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you soon. Thank you. Yeah, it just bothers me a bit with their record, and I agree with everyone. Yes, we should be. We're Tottenham. We should be going there, have our heads in the right space. You know, for me, the manager has got to get this spot on. If it's him that's dealing with it, he has got to get it spot on Thursday.
100%. And see, this is really a underrated comment that I would do. I would play Romero, Van der Ven, and I would obviously go defensive.
Yeah.
I would go defensive. I would actually play Jed Spence instead of Dogi for that game.
Yeah. Yeah. I said earlier, I think Bodo will have a lot of the ball on Thursday, and I think our outlet is going to be on the counter.
Yeah.
When
have we played at our best this year?
On the counter.
On the counter.
So who plays for you? Who plays in the front three if we're looking at counter attacking?
This is it, isn't it? This is it.
Go on. We're far from fruit. Like, I don't know, to be honest with you. You're gonna have to obviously play Brennan Johnson, Solanke, and look. I know you just asked for just 3 players, but Richarlison should have a shout. I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was bad. I thought he was what we needed. Richarlison brought to, like, maybe it's one performance, but all season we haven't put crosses into our box, and it looked like the only player willing to do that was Richarlison. There was a moment in the game where he could have ran at the defender and had a shot himself, but he decided to cross it, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, why would you do that, you know? But they didn't realize, because while I was watching it from my TV, and I think you guys were as well, right? Just before he receives the ball, he looks up.
Yeah.
You know? So he already made the decision before he would have got the ball. And I thought it was the right move. In fact, you know, I wasn't really disappointed that the ball didn't get put through. You know, things happen. At least he was trying to bring players into the game. So for me, Richarlison, I think he should stick with Richarlison.
Yeah.
And his defensive outlet was also a big key to us winning that game. There was a few times he lost the ball and won the ball back, and I thought Richarlison was underrated, you know. what I saw on the social media was totally different to my opinion. A lot of people thought he had a bad game, which for me, I didn't see that. Maybe people view football differently, but
I just thought more than anything, and something that Tottenham miss a lot of is that when Richarlison's on the pitch, 9 times out of 10, we know he does the working hard and all that. But what I like about Richarlison is that we don't seem to have anywhere else. Is he does the shithousery, he gives it the large, he upsets the defenders, you know, like a bit old schooly type, you know. And
do you know?
I like
do you know, mate?
Yeah.
Do you know, mate? You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, sometimes in games, you need that bit of shithousery, bit of time wasting, bit of like just calm the crowd down, you know, silence the crowd a little bit, you know, get a cheap free kick here and there, you know, just to silence the crowd, you know. And in my opinion, are Richie and Solanke good enough?
Nope.
No, they're not. But at the end of the day, it's what we got. You know, that is what we got.
You can only play with what you've got, can't you, Mark?
Exactly, mate. And so I believe Richie in the away leg would be perfect because you know what he's like. Winding them up, the shithousery, the cheap free kick specialist, you know, the rolling about on the ground if necessary, you know. Because let's face it, right? When do we ever see us using the dark arts of football? I know people say it's boring, but everyone does it. You know, sometimes you got to shit your way to a victory. You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's 0-0 Thursday. I honestly don't. If it's 0-0 Thursday, you know, so be it. We're through. That's it. You know?
Yeah.
So if it's the most boring 0-0 with loads of time wasting and shithousery, and so be it. So be it as far as. But to be honest, that famous saying, on Thursday, we get through by any means necessary. By any means.
My only concern is with playing Richarlison on the left, which I'm not against, if Solanke's fit, is that you notice when obviously Richarlison went off at half-time, Solanke then come off in the second half, we didn't really have anyone to bring on for him.
No.
That's why I just play one of them, either Richarlison or Solanke, and then if we need a striker to come on in the second half, or we're a goal down or whatever, then we can bring one on.
Yeah,
that's a fair assessment, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but you see, I have a solution to that. But see, I know I would do that, but Ange seems to not experiment as much as I would like him to. You know, put Johnson up top then. Play Johnson up top. You know, because for me, Johnson has all the Johnson has all the ability to play that striker role. Because when he's on the wing, he doesn't take on his man. I don't even think he knows how to take on his man, to be honest with you. He's a very boring player to watch.
Yeah.
However, he's... Oh, go for it.
I was just going to say, TJ, tell me what else he does in the game. Generally, apart from coming in at the back post for crosses coming over. What explain to me what do you think he does anything else? Because I don't.
Go for it.
Can I just have my I'm a fan of Johnson.
Yeah. Perfect.
Right, as you know. Right now, if you watch him when he played for Forest, and I've said this on many, many, many shows, he is not a winger. The same as Son. Son is not a winger. They're both inside forwards. They're like a second striker. You put Johnson, not that Ange is going to do this, to get the best out of Johnson, I believe...
Like a Dele Alli role, where he blocks everywhere.
Or a Jermaine Defoe type.
Okay.
You know, you know the big man, small man. You know, like when Defoe played with Crouch. If you stuck Johnson more in the middle, and he had the flick-ons from Solanke or something like that, I believe he'd be much better. He is not a winger. Never has been. Nor Sonny. When has Sonny ever been a winger?
See, the problem that we face is we've bought, and no matter what anybody says, you have to just call a spade a spade. We've bought unexperienced players.
Yeah.
You know? So even when you do, obviously, look, if I was Ange, I would play him in strike, you know, and then saves the problem. But even when you do start to say move Johnson to strike, we still have the problem of who's going to play on the wing.
Yeah. Well, we'll put it this way. Johnson is not a one-up top striker. He's not strong enough. He's not physical enough. You know what I mean? He's not a one-up top striker.
But he does what? The only argument I have with this, personally, I just don't think he's good enough for Tottenham's level. That's my honest, humble opinion. Yeah. But if I was to have a debate with you in terms of personally, what I prefer about Johnson to Solanke, he's in the space where the striker should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was 7 or 8 times where I was screaming, why is Solanke not in Johnson's spot? And that's the problem with Solanke. As much as he's hardworking and he might have enough strength to bully someone off the pitch, he's never in the right position.
I find the Johnson debate really interesting because I don't think he's that great either. He's not good to watch. Doesn't get me off my seat. But if it wasn't for his goals this season, there was no doubt we'd be in a relegation battle.
True.
You know,
I agree.
he gets numbers.
I was going to say, any bad talk on Johnson, remember I have the power here, I can mute you. No, I'm only joking.
No, I was just asking the question because I watch him, you know, when we play, and I'm not knocking him for scoring his goals. He's like you say, he's in the right position a lot of the time. Crosses are coming over, back post, and he's there to knock them in. Fair dues to him, right? That is a skill in itself to be able to do that as often as he does. What I'm talking about is when we played Frankfurt, for argument's sake, right? When we played Frankfurt away, even though it negated his attacking as much, if you watched Tell and Johnson were a bit deeper to make that midfield look more like of a 4 across. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I just want to see him. I don't know. I want to see him drop off a bit more to help out when we haven't got the ball. And that's not just him. It's whoever's on the left wing as well. You know, I know he's playing a 4-3-3 as such. That's what he plays. But it's all, you know, when those two are not dropping back along the line when we haven't got the ball, I think we look so much more fragile than when they do. Does that make sense?
Just to add on to your point so you can carry on, that's what Richarlison was doing all of last game.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Richarlison is the player. I'm not saying he's good enough for Tottenham. But right now we're using a bunch of, crap players that have come to Tottenham. So you have to use with what you got. Let's not talk about how we wasted money on Werner. Because they're speaking about areas of the pitch that need help. We should have got better. We should have, you know, it's such a hard, you know, it's not even hard. The reason why I'm saying it's not even hard, because you see teams like Brighton, Newcastle, and even up to Aston Villa tackle areas that they're most vulnerable by. We've been really poor. We've wasted so much money.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this statement, and then you guys can carry on talking. But on Haz's show, I said, "See, look, I'm a young fan. I started watching around 2012. No, in fact, before that, I would say I was a supporter just before 2007. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, the team I fell in love with was obviously Pochettino because I was young, around 2007, 8, 9, 10. I was young. I didn't know my left shoe to my right shoe. Let me be so honest with you. But Pochettino's team, where you had Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, Carl Walker, Danny Rose, Dembele, Ericsson, Ali, Lucas Moura. No, Lucas Moura came after, but like around that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Name one player that will go into that squad and improve that squad.
What, from my current one?
From Pochettino's time. Name one player from Angie's squad right now that will walk into
0.
None of them.
Pochettino's squad. So now, if you say none of them, if you're saying none of them like I am, they're not good enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's just call a spade a spade. They're not good enough. You can't argue potential because potential means nothing in now and here. We're Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. We're not Norwich and I'm going to give them their flowers. But we're not Norwich. We're not Brighton. We're not all of these clubs that plan for the future. Are we that club now? We must be now. We must be.
Yeah.
We're not even a top 6.
Well, we're there
this is how much we've fallen.
Yeah, well, we sort of muscled our way into that, didn't we, by Pochettino being, because it always was top 4 and we weren't involved. But then Poch turned up and they changed it to top 6. You know? And that was only what Poch did.
If you can't name one, that just proves the squad is not good enough.
No, but there's definitely not one. There's not one of that prime Poch team that would get, that one of the players now would get in. Is Solanke better than Harry Kane?
Nope.
Certainly not.
I would have Lucas Moura right now. I would.
Yeah, and he was and he wasn't one of the stars of Poch's team.
Exactly. This is my point. My point is that if I'm dying for the squad players, there must be something wrong.
Yeah.
Take Christian Eriksen right now.
100%.
Well,
and that's how poor we've gone.
Even how he is now.
Now,
he barely gets a game for Man United now. But when he was in his prime under Poch, bloody hell, man! Some of the stuff he used to do. I can see exactly what you're saying. Exactly.
Welcome, Dan. How are you, mate?
Yeah,
is he there? Oh, yeah, he's there.
Oh.
Yeah. You're a bit crackly, Dan. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I was going to say, are you outside, mate? Because there was wind noise.
Come back again.
I don't know if I can hear.
No, I don't know. I didn't hear none of that.
I think he's gone out and he's going to come back. I think.
Yeah,
he's a bit crackly there, wasn't he? Yeah. So
I believe he was outside. There was a lot of wind noise and that.
Yeah. So just between the 4 of us, and we'll move on to Sunday because the result's done now. We've got Sunday to I don't know if you want to call it, look forward to West Ham away. Is everyone confident that we're going to get through on Thursday before we move on?
Yeah, we should.
Yes.
We should.
Yeah, I'm in with that as well. I still think we'll qualify. I do. Yeah. I still think we'll get through by hook or by crook. I don't know how, but whether it's, like Mark says, a 0-0 or we beat them 1-0 or they beat us 1-0 or whatever it is. I'm not really bothered as long as we get through, as long as we get through to the final. Dan, are you
Dan
back
is
now?
back. Dan is back. Is he sorted?
Is that better? Is that better now?
Ooh.
No, it's really crackly, Dan. It's really crackly.
I'll try. I'll try to give me 5 minutes. I'll try and sort it out, and I'll try to do it on another device if that works. It might my phone. I'll do it on my phone, so it might be because of that. So I'll try 5 minutes, and I'll see if I can work it out.
All right, mate. No worries.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think I sort of understood that.
I think he was just saying he was going out, trying to sort it out and come back.
Yeah.
He can.
Yeah.
Another device.
I thought he said something about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right,
10
okay.
minutes.
Yeah, so about 5 minutes and another device.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move on then. We'll move on to Sunday. My question is to you, chaps. The team. Is he going to change it up? Is he going to leave maybe 2 or 3 out that have had injuries and are only on the way back and save them for Thursday? Is he going to play a team full of kids? Is he going to play the team that played the other day? I don't know. What do you chaps think on the weekend? What's he going to do?
I think a lot of it depends on injuries. I think Madison's out, definitely. Solanke's not sure.
Oh, I was going to say there was a comment here about is Solanke out?
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, I've heard he's 50-50, but I'm not sure. I think they might be resting him for Thursday. I think Richarlison probably starts up front.
Was it only a knock with Solanke, or was it a sort of...
Solanke's was more of a knock, I think.
And so it's not one of these 3 or 4 week things then?
I don't think so, but it's a Spurs medical team. You never know.
Well, yeah. Well, to be honest, he'd probably be out for the rest of the season then.
Probably. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's going to be a mixed match side. Yeah. I can see maybe Romero starting. I don't think Van der Ven will. I'd probably rest as many as I could. Like I said, for the last 5 or 6 weeks, I've been banging the drum that the league matters. The league matters is all. You need results. Now I just think it doesn't matter. It's all about Thursday night. Couldn't care less about the league.
Well, the difference between where are we now, 16th, and if West Ham win, we'll be 17th. It's 3.1 million, isn't it?
Don't want to get battered, though, Mark, do you?
No, of course not.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't want us to win every
West
game.
Ham on Sunday and get beat 5-0. Ain't a good look, is it? You know
well, put it this way, right? I know it is West Ham and it's a derby and all that stuff, but would you sooner get battered Sunday and then go through on Thursday?
I don't want to get battered any time, mate.
No. But all I'm saying,
the league doesn't matter. I'm agreeing with you. Like you say, 16th, 17th, it's 3.1 million quid per place, whatever it is. Whoever he rests, let's put it that way. Whoever he rests, he should still be able to put a team out there that is more than capable of matching West Ham.
Oh,
as far as I believe, anyway. So it doesn't matter, right? But I still think that whoever he puts out there should be putting in a performance. As such, I'm not saying
fighting for a place.
Have a go. Do you know what I mean? Whatever they're going to do. I don't know.
I'm not sure West Ham are capable of scoring 5 against anyone, to be honest.
Well, I know. I was being a bit, you know what I mean, no, Nigel. It's just typical Spursy that sort of shit will happen, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're that team, mate. But I just want to see whoever he puts out. I'm not bothered who it is. At the end of the day, they're all squad members. You know, they're all part of the first team squad. They should all be with the programme. That's the part. Whatever the programme is, be with it and just,
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I think we're going to lose. I predicted 3-0. If Ange, for me personally, I want him to rush players. So for me, the players that he's going to rest is his main state. And the league, look, I never like us losing, but I've been saying like this guy just doesn't really care about the Prem. He just generally doesn't. 19 losses is no small loss. That's practically all of your games. It is.
Yeah.
It generally is. It's practically all of your games.
Yeah.
Dan's just come in with a message.
Yeah.
What's going on? It's my connection. It's the mic in my headphones. Big up. I'll just leave it. You always welcome on here, mate.
Yeah, anytime, Dan. You're
Anytime,
welcome.
Dan.
You know that.
Big up, Dan.
Yeah, it's. Listen, lad, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. Do you know what I mean? What bothers me is it's like little bits like we've just spoke about 3.1 million. Now I know that in the grand scheme of things, 3.1 million quid is whatever it is for every place, right? But to me, I'm almost looking at it as like that's another 3.1 million gone out of the transfer budget.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And as difficult as it is, and like I said, I agree with you. The league's done now, and things like 3.1 million shouldn't be an issue to us lads sitting here. We don't spend the money; they spend it. But it's just like when it comes to another transfer in the winter, in the summer, because I'm sure there'll be a few.
But can I just add something to it? Maybe this is just my opinion, but I don't want Ange to have no more money.
No, nor do I.
No more money. And I know that sounds really weird because 3 point whatever million for finishing 16th instead of 17th, or I don't know, man. But for me, if there's no money, with what all the rumors are saying, I just don't want Ant to spend any more. He's wasted around 400 million.
Yeah, but you have to look at it from. I'm not looking at it from that point, TJ. I'm looking at it from the point of he's gone in the summer.
Yeah,
there's a new manager coming in, and he's going to have nothing.
Oh yeah, cool.
Can I just make a little
that was the point I was looking at it from. You know what?
I just got a little counter statement, right?
Yeah.
Yes, 3.1 million a place, but if we do drop a place and West Ham overtake us because they beat us Sunday, you've also got to think if that means we go on to the final and actually win the Europa League.
Yeah.
We got more pulling power in the transfer window because we'll have Champions League football next year that we can offer. You know what I mean? So even though we might lose 3.1 million for a place, we might drop it if we lose and West Ham overtake us. If it's all ifs and buts. But if that means we go on to win the Europa League, how much more pulling power have we got to a player that if we don't win the Europa League and we finish 17th in the league and we got nothing to offer him, no European football next year whatsoever, then we go on and win the Europa League. And if a player's like, oh, well, I'm not sure, you're not going to pay me a lot, because the wages is always the big stumbling block with players. But we say, right, you got Champions League football next year. You know what I mean? That's a big pull.
I've got a question. A quick question.
Well. Yeah, go on, Nigel.
Yeah, I've got a quick question because I don't know. I haven't looked it up. But if we win the Europa League, are we in straight into the Champions League, or have we got?
I believe so. Yeah, no, you got straight in. I believe it's it's always. I believe if you win the Champions League, you're straight in the group stages. Because if you remember when we got fourth, even though this year it's going to be fifth, because we've got the coefficient fifth place, haven't we? Allegedly.
Yeah.
Right. The fifth place team this year, whoever that may be, they will go into the playoffs.
Right.
Because you remember the first time that, was it Redknapp got us in there? We had to play Young Boys. And we bloody lost the first, or we were 3-0 down, weren't we, at Young Boys?
Tried our
What's that?
best.
It's not when we were losing him, and didn't we draw with him? What's that? In the
Lost
away
3-2,
leg?
didn't we? And then lost
Yeah.
3-2. But
And then battered him at White Hart Lane.
Mm.
Yeah, because we finished fourth and we had to go. Well, the lowest team is going to be fifth this year. The lowest team has got to go through the playoff round to get into the Champions League. But if you win the Europa League, I'm 99% certain you go straight in.
So
Straight in.
So if we win the Europa League, next question is, we go into the Champions League. Yeah, that's fine. Think about the squad you've got now that's lost 19 games with 4 to go in the Premier League this year. That squad with maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 that leave. Yeah, 2 or 3 that might come in. Yeah. How's that squad going to get on in the Champions League next season?
Well, we'll worry about that next year.
No, but it's all part of the conversation, right, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, right, when you're playing quality week in, week out, you're going to be in trouble next season. So are we just in the usual cycle of, well, we've won a trophy, and I'm talking about from the top here, from the people at the top. We've won a trophy, we've got the money, we're going to get the Champions League money, but unfortunately, we're not going to invest in the right players to play in the Champions League.
It's a really difficult question.
I'll just jump in quickly. What Archer says here, we got robbed because Chelsea won it and we finished fourth.
Yeah.
That year, they changed the rules because of us. Well, Chelsea robbing us, basically. They changed the rules. Tottenham were rewarded with financial payments, and they changed the rules so it'd never happen again, and we got a load of money out of UEFA.
They do that quite a lot with Spurs, didn't they?
Yeah.
Did they do that with handball as well? Because didn't remember Dyer handling it against Newcastle and giving away a penalty? Never a penalty.
Definitely that year that Chelsea won the damn thing and finished about 10th or wherever they finished, they robbed us of our place. But they definitely changed the rules on that decision.
As far as the squad goes, though, I think it's a really difficult question to answer, because I think if we're talking under Ange, screwed. But I think this squad is so much better under a different manager. And
bring back Poch, man.
More players.
Bring back Poch. I'm sorry, I've been banging on about Poch for the longest while.
You and me both, buddy.
Like, I didn't want this manager here in the first place. I'll be so real. I was against it from the start. Andrew's meant to prove to me why he can manage at this level. And he's failed on every hurdle. But we still got the Europa League. If he wins that, does it change my judgment of him? No.
No. I agree. I see fans saying he's got to have a statue outside the ground if he wins the Europa League, and I'm like, really?
What?
Oh
what?
yeah.
See what fan said that.
There's plenty of fans. There's plenty of fans out there in chats, mate, saying that. Watch the chat.
Everyone said we're going to smash everyone 5-0 every week.
You see, this is the problem with most of our fan base. Our standards are so low.
Yeah.
Our dignity is so kicked up our arse, man. I'm sorry, mind my language, but it's generally like we've been hungered for trophies for 16 years. Yeah. So most of our fans, they will generally twerk for this trophy. But the bigger picture is the standard is just not good enough. It should never have got this low.
To be honest, man, right? If we do actually win the Europa League, and they insist on putting a statue of Ange outside with whatever statue, what sort of a disgrace is that to Bill Nick, Keith Birkinshaw, like Danny Blanchflower, Glenn Hoddle, players like that, players and managers like that. You know, I mean, put it this way, there should only be, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, so it's probably wrong, to be honest, because most of my opinions are wrong. But there should only be 2 statues outside that stadium. I know it's against the Jewish faith and whatever, but we won't go into any of that. There should be 2 statues outside that ground. Bill Nick, and maybe Danny Blanchflower, as a statue. And the next one should be the General. The General, Keith Birkinshaw. What was it? 5 or 6 trophies he won us?
Yeah.
That's the only... If they erected a statue of Ange...
It's a disrespect.
Because he won a Europa League in the same season that we've lost 19 up to now, and it'll probably be 20-odd by the time the season's finished. That's a disgrace, man. Absolute disgrace. Over Bill Nick and the General.
It's only what I see in the chats, Mark, when people make comments, it's, I don't know if you'd call them.
See, who is this? I just got to intro. Who is this Lubo with hair?
Who is it? Come on.
I don't know.
Spill the beans.
As soon as I saw the comment come in, it did. That's why I was chuckling, because it made me laugh. I'm just going to the next comment.
He might do. He might well do. Yeah.
And maybe Mabba. Well, of course, I should be. He was my first choice, but I didn't want to sound biased. To be honest, I'm not biased, but the main statue should be of Gary Mabba, obviously. I still want to know. I still want to know who this is. Lubo with hair. Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, some of the names you see in the chat is funny.
So, do we beat West Ham on Sunday, or as we said, does it? You're not bothered. Just give us a score prediction anyway. Give us your score predictions.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay, fair dues. Yeah,
3-0 West Ham.
3-0 West Ham. Mark.
Yeah.
All depends on the team he puts out, really.
Yeah.
To a point, doesn't it?
Well, we were talking about predictions, and I forgot to bloody do the damn things. Not that I'm ever going to win the predictions league, but but I'll be honest with you, I don't really care.
No.
I mean, obviously, I hope we win. So I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs.
Happy days. I'm going 2-2. I think it'll be a 2-2 at the weekend. I predicted a draw when we was looking at the results at
I just don't think. Can I be so honest with you? I predicted a loss and a heavy loss as well, 3-0. Not us not scoring. I just don't think we will be up for it. No. We're away from home, and if Ange does what I think he's going to do and change quite a lot of that squad,
yeah. I think there'll be, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 changes, something like that. That's what I'm expecting. But it depends who he thinks he has to look after at the end of the day, doesn't it? We all know.
David's comment here, look.
Certain players.
Richarlison won. Who's this Moore?
Yeah, I ain't seen much of him.
No, I don't know. Is he?
Yeah, and that right there. Thank you for mentioning him. Thank you for mentioning him. What has happened to Mikey Moore?
Who knows, man? Who knows, honestly?
If I was him, I would be considering knocking on that door and asking for a transfer. Exactly, it's just hindering his career.
Yeah.
It's hindering his career, and he's a phenomenal player.
Yeah. We'll put it this way, right? Straight. He turned up in that Europa game, didn't he? And Madison, in his interview afterwards, said, well, we just gave the ball to Mikey. And he went, he did hell of a well in that game. And then we brought in Odegaard on it to stifle him a bit more. And we brought in, Tell. Well, it was Tell we brought in, that's it, to stifle him a bit, even more. I mean, I've never really seen him play, only when he's played for the first team. But if you listen to people that watch the under whatevers,
under 21s,
yeah, he's fantastic. So,
Who was it?
I mean,
Who was?
this is it. We keep buying all these youngsters when we got bloody stars already here.
Who was it though? It said in chat, or somebody said on one of the channels that apparently Mikey Moore. And listen, I'd love to see Mikey Moore play more minutes, but apparently Mikey Moore's come out and said he's happy with the minutes he's played. I don't know how true that is, but someone said that.
No football in mind. No, when I say football in mind, I don't mean it like that. No footballing minded player that loves the game wants to sit on the bench.
No.
I'll tell you for a fact.
Well,
Because if you're like eager to play, and when I say eager, I mean like you dream about playing, you dream about scoring. You're not happy with bench minutes. My younger brother, for example, he plays the Watford Academy. I think I've mentioned it a few times, but he plays for Watford Academy. He's close to the first team setup. He managed to have an injury these past 6 months, so he's not been able to play, right? Now he's back, and he's sitting on the bench, and it angers him. Not the fact that he's not playing. It angers him that he can't get back on that pitch. So if Mikey Moore has the blood and sweat, like he wants to succeed. If his dreams about football, he'll go move somewhere else, man. Get him playing under a manager that's going to appreciate him. Because what Lucas Bergvall plays, they're young. Let's not get it twisted. They're all young. Look what he's done to Archie Gray.
So the only thing I think is that maybe that virus is worse than we first thought. I don't know, but I don't understand why he hasn't had more minutes personally.
It's a disgrace.
The only thing I can think of is that Ange goes at the end of the season, another manager comes in. We're all screaming for a coach. We want a coach to come in and coach these players. And hopefully a coach comes in that if he thinks Mikey Moore is good enough, he will give him more minutes and integrate him into the team. You know, that I don't see what else we can hope for, because Angie's not going to play him, not unless he really has to. You know, and David's right. I know earlier in the season he had an injury. And I know he's had problems with what David's talking about, viruses and different bits and pieces. So, you know, I can't go deeply into that, but I know he has had some problems this season.
But he has been on the bench for the last 2 or 3 games, hasn't he? So
stick him on, man.
If ever there was a time for Ange to get the fans behind him, it would be to play Mikey Moore.
Yeah.
Or at least give him more minutes.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. What was I going to say? It's gone right out of my head.
That's an age thing, mate.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say we're 1 hour 50 in. We'll wrap it up shortly if that's all right with everyone. Sorry, TJ. I know you haven't been on long and night.
Yeah, no. It's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah.
Killing me. Oh God, it's gone right out of my head. Mark, say something because my mind's gone blank.
I was just going to say, just keep waffling, mate. I'm gonna find both their links and stick it. I think
that was what I was going to say. Actually, I had so much going around in my head then I couldn't spit out what I wanted to say. I was going to say to everyone in the chat, please make sure you subscribe to Nige. We don't mention subs normally, and you know, please subscribe and like only on the odd occasion. So that'd be great if you can, and to TJ as well.
Yeah, I'm just
subscribe to us. So last question, chaps. We go to Bodo on Thursday. Forget West Ham at the weekend. We go to Bodo. I think we've all said that we think we'll get through by hook or by crook, one way or the other. Give us a score line for Thursday and how we get through. Do we get through? You know, they beat us 1-0. We get the win. It goes to What's your thoughts?
I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I think it might be a game where we're behind for a long time, maybe 1-0, maybe 2-1, and then we get a late equaliser. And I think we draw the game, either 1-1 or 2-2, and go through.
Fair dues, nice. TJ?
I think it's going to be either. I agree. It's going to be a draw. I was on the thoughts of probably 0-0, but knowing Tottenham, we will concede. So I'm thinking 1-1 maybe. I don't think we're going to be going there to win. We're going to be playing pragmatic Mourinho football. We need that football. In fact, it's more important that we do play pragmatic football.
Yeah, agree.
But
yeah,
that's my score prediction.
Yeah. Sheriff?
Oh, man. I honestly don't care as long as we get to the final. I'd take 7-6, to them. I'd take anything. Anything, as long as we got one more goal than them when the final whistle goes.
Yeah.
I'd take 1-0 to them. I'd take 1-1. I'd take us battering them. As long as what's in the top left-hand corner says it's enough for us to get to Bilbao.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
And
that's all that really matters.
And that's where I am with it. I think we will score over there, and I think scoring one goal will be enough to see us through. I don't think we'll win the game.
If we score one, man, one, can you really see them scoring 3?
Well,
I know, never ever say that.
I think we'll score there though, so I think that'll help our cause. You know what I mean? So it should be enough at the end of the day.
Please sub to TJ if you haven't.
Yeah.
Do you see us conceding though? That's the question.
Oh yeah, I think we'll lose 2-1. That's my prediction. I think we'll lose 2-1, but we'll go through. Yeah.
To be honest, when can you not see us conceding?
Well,
that's why we need the Mourinho pragmatic football.
Yeah.
And for me, like I did mention earlier, I would play Spence. There's a reason behind it, because Doggy's played well, and listen, I promise you, he's played well. But I want him to play a Doggy and Spence, because Spence is more defensive.
Yeah.
I feel like we will be. It's not going to be an easy game.
Yeah. Right, and if you haven't, please sub to Nige.
Yeah.
You'll be like, what time is it later, Nige? Because I did see you put the link in.
I put it on for 9:05 just because I wanted to be different. Because I know we'll probably start late, because we always do.
Well, yeah.
Right, Nige. Well, I'm out for a meal tonight that I'll probably just look at, Nige, family thing. But as soon as I get back in, I will come into your show, if that's okay, and join your show later on. Just so you know.
Save the good questions for you, man.
And we want a full report on what you've eaten.
Yeah, okay, I can do that as well. I can do that. That's brilliant. Mark, if it's all right, we'll wrap it up.
No worries, man.
TJ and Nige, thanks ever so much for popping on. Dan for popping on earlier as well. Have I missed anyone? Was anyone else on?
No, Dan popped in, wasn't it? But yeah, connect. Danny appeared in the background.
Yeah.
And I went to add him, and he said, and it said something about his mic and camera. I couldn't add him. Yeah. So.
Okay, well, that's fine. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Thanks, everyone in the chat. Great chat as normal. And we'll see you all again soon. And on that note, it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him. Please like and subscribe and all that stuff.
Cheers, everyone. See you soon. Take care.